Again, Monday, and everyone knows what that means. It is time to talk some more NFL football. Of course, we're talking Eagles. We're talking college football. And we'll talk about why I sound like this at the other side. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because episode number 19 of 609 Sports Talk starts right now. And welcome in everybody back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk live here on Facebook and of course always on YouTube. Of course, we are coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. This is, of course, the show that ignites fans, ignites debate. I don't even know what I said.
Let me help you
I'm
out, Sam.
dying.
Unites the fans and always ignites the debate. Although
There
there
you
may
go.
not be much debating out of you tonight. I don't know if you'll be able to muster it up. So
I'll do my
I'll take
best.
it easy on you.
Oh, yeah, please do. But as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams, and I apologize to the people. I am currently battling being sick. I have a sore throat. I'm dying. So if you don't see me next Monday, you know what happened. But like Michael Jordan, I'm going to just keep pulling. I'm going to keep pulling. This is going to be sore throat gate.
Sammy Cake's flu game.
This is sore throat gate. So look, we got a jam-packed show. We're going to talk some college football later on in the show. AP Top 25. We're going to talk about some big five-star commits making their commitment to their schools. I'm not going to be able to take this episode seriously because I sound ridiculous. You should hear myself right now. But we're going to talk about that on the other side. NFL Weekly Recap. But to start off the show, we're talking some Philadelphia Eagles.
Victory Monday. Coming at you.
What's that, 7 straight Victory Mondays?
7 straight. Ringing them off.
So look, last night, Eagles going to LA and absolutely stomped the LA Rams 37-20. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 47 yards, breaking the Eagles single rush record held by LaShawn McCoy that was done back in 2013. Saquon Barkley has already eclipsed his career high in rushing yards for the season. Tyler, the question is for you. Does Saquon Barkley have a good case for the NFL Most Valuable Player Award?
He has a phenomenal case for the most valuable player. That's all I've been seeing on my feeds today is, Saquon Barkley for MVP, should he be considered? Let's stop making this a quarterback award, and going back, and this hurts because going back to last year, I think we can both agree Christian McCaffrey was the most valuable player in the NFL.
Yes.
It was outrageous that Lamar Jackson won it over him. Did Lamar have one of the best years of his career? Yes, he did. Was he the most valuable player to his team? Yeah, you can say that. The guy who shocked you the most in the league was Christian McCaffrey. He was just phenomenal. Now, talking about Saquon Barkley, yesterday's game alone averaged 9.8 yards. Was that? Yeah, rushing, yeah. Averaged almost 10 yards a carry. Broke off 2 70-yard plus runs. Had 2 rushing touchdowns, 26 carries, 255 yards. Coming into last night's game, he was already sitting at around 1,100 something yards. And I said to everyone there that was watching the game, I said, Saquon Barkley is almost at his career high that he ever had with the Giants in 2020, I think it was. In 2020, he had about 1,300 rushing yards. And I said, just watch and wait and see. He's probably going to eclipse that soon. Did I think he was going to get 255 rushing yards in a game? I did not. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I thought that was going to happen. But as it stands, this man has 1,392 yards on the season. His career high was 1,312, and his rookie year was 1,307. He has already tied his rushing touchdown total from 2021, that same year, or 2022, my bad, that same year that he had his best year of his career. Now, I know everyone's going to, make the complaints how he could have more rushing touchdowns. How many times did he get us down inside the 10 and, they pushed it in? Newsflash, us Eagles fans, a touchdown is a touchdown. I don't care who scores it. Forget your fantasy team. All right? I'd watch Puka Nacua screw my fantasy team and Jake Elliott give me a loss. All right? Jake Elliott had one of the best games of his year this year, and it cost me. All right? So, screw fantasy. Eagle season is way bigger than all of this. And right
now
now,
it is.
Sam, there was so many scenarios I could have won
Sure.
my fantasy matchup, and the Eagles would have won comfortably still. All right, so many different scenarios, but it just didn't come to fruition. So Saquon Barkley, currently on the year, he's averaging 6.2 yards per carry. That is a whole 1.2 yards higher than he averaged during his best year averaging on the ground. That was his rookie year. He averaged 5 yards per carry on the ground. And this year, he's already averaging 6.2. Yes, that does have a lot to do with running behind one of the best offensive lines in football. I'm going to say the best offensive line in football. Yeah, the Lions, you're nice, you're cute, you're second best. All right, take the back seat. You don't have Stout you coaching your guys. If you did, then you'd probably be the dominant number one without a doubt. And it's showing. This team is dominating. What's up, David Burns? Watching from Cedar Hill.
Birdsey?
Love to see it.
I'm going to die in the show. I just hope you know I'm going to die.
I'm doing the talking today.
Go ahead.
But Saquon Barkley is easily not just the most valuable player to this Eagles team right now and to the season that they're having. He is the most valuable player in the league. I get it. Josh Allen, he's having an amazing, phenomenal year. Putting up the numbers, not turning the ball over, playing great. Team has the second best record. Yeah, second best record in the AFC. But I would love to see a non-quarterback win the MVP award. Do I think it's realistic? No, I do not. Just won't happen.
And the thing we got to really look at when it comes to the Eagles' offensive line, like you're thinking the Eagles are better than the Lions. Here's the thing, right? The Lions' offensive line is full of studs. This offensive line lost the greatest center to play the game of football last year. And I'll remember all early how bad of a center Cam Jurgens was. I remember that. To me, he's now like one of the best centers in the game.
He's fit in. It's almost like there's no loss.
No.
Like he literally took over and filled those shoes perfectly.
Hey, Burnsy, but we're happy for it. That knocked Washington down a little bit for us. So,
did.
Man, if you look at the way that the Eagles' offensive line is constructed, Jordan Mailata never played a down of football until he got to Philadelphia. And per PFF last night, he's the number one offensive tackle in the league. Landon Dickerson, minus a few little mental mistakes he makes, is still one of the biggest mauling guards in football, which, by the way, that late push is the most ridiculous call I've ever seen, and we're going to talk about.
That's ridiculous. And then who was it that got called for that illegal man downfield? Was that Jurgens or was that Dickerson?
It was one of the two country white boys.
Yeah, it was one of the two country boys. And it was barely.
Hey, I don't know which. So who are more of the exotic whites? DeJean and Blankenship or Dickerson and Jurgens?
The fact that you said exotic whites.
Oh, yeah. They're exotic, baby. But, and then you talk about Lane Johnson, who's easily one of the best right tackles of all time. I'm not talking now, I'm talking all time. But the big story that we don't talk about enough of is Mekhi Becton at right guard. When they signed Mekhi Becton, you and I were, when we were out to eat with Orlando, remember, we were like, okay, there's your swing tackle. Oh, did Jeff Stoutland have a plan for him?
Yeah, he did. But he turned one of the biggest prospect left tackles of our generation, who was plagued by injuries his whole career. He was a Jet, that's just normal. That's just going to happen your whole career. Finally got out of there. And what happens? Gets coached up by one of the best offensive line coaches in existence. And he's now playing at elite caliber right guard play. He needs to get votes for right guard for the Pro Bowl. And honestly, he
Oh,
should be
yeah.
all pro right guard. I mean, he's just been lights out in the run, in the pass. Like, it's rare to see a guy who used to play tackle at his size to be able to shift into a guard position. Because we all saw who tried it before as well, Jason Peters, and that didn't look good.
Talk. And, like, when you look at Mekhi Becton, and he got banged up a few times this year. Tyler Steen comes right in, it's like no change.
No loss.
It's just what Jeff Stoutland has done for this team over his decade-long offensive line coach duty here is ridiculous.
It is.
And remember something. I know we like to give credit for Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni. Jeff Stoutland is the run game coordinator, too. He runs a lot of this. And you know what stat I would love to know? What is Saquon's point of contact? When is he first touched? It's a lot better here.
I don't know the numbers from the Giants days, but I know the numbers that they said last night. It was, I think the Giants days, it was like 1.2 yards before contact. And now it's like 2.3 or something. It was like a whole yard increase that he's able to run before getting touched. And then his yards after contact are just ridiculous. We all know that.
Oh, yeah. But if you just look at the way that this offensive line and Saquon Barkley are performing, everybody else there's less pressure. Like Jalen Hurts. I understand why Jalen doesn't throw the football anymore. It's not because it helps him. It's because he can't see. He's got 5 trees in front of him. He can't see.
That's why he's throwing so many deep balls. He can't throw the short
Yeah,
pass.
right.
He's going to hit one of his guys in the back of the head.
He's like, F it, someone's down there.
AJ's down there somewhere.
Oh, good Lord. Well, Birdsey said Eagles looked really good last night. People ranking the Eagles second in the NFL behind Detroit. After last night, I believe they could definitely go to this. I need conference weekend. Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Lions. There's nothing else in this league that we want more.
So
that's what I want.
Actually, I was doing some research while you're talking there. I got some rough numbers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly how accurate these are. But from 2023, Saquon Barkley's yards before contact on each attempt was 1.94, so just shy of 2. In 2024, it's 4.05. So I was wrong. It's actually a 2-yard increase before he gets touched. So
2-yard increase.
It's no shock as to why he's averaging 6.2 yards per carry right now.
No. Unlike if you just go back and look at the 2 touchdowns that were 70 yards, he was barely flicked.
Yeah.
He was barely touched.
Mm-hmm. And what Burns he just said, the Eagles look really good. People ranking the Eagles second behind Detroit. I'll be honest, after last night, there's a point that it comes to in a season where you're like, okay, this team is really, really good. And I think that point for me was last night's game. The way that they controlled the pace of it, and that going into the second half of the game, which they've done all season, is when they just put the game out immediately. And seeing that, I'll be honest, you go back, I pulled the card of looking at the week one when the Rams played the Detroit Lions, and they beat it by 6 points. They didn't blow them out. They didn't play them that hard. And it was the same exact Rams team. Everyone was fully healthy. Same exact team. So I'll be honest, I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. It's arguably best team in the NFL. It's a tough one. It's between them or the Bills. Them, the Bills, and the Lions are the three teams that you can argue as the best in the NFL.
What's up, Zolt?
What's up, Zolt? Wonder what Zolt has to say about that.
Well, he's saying that Saquon should be in the MVP talk right now.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't deny that.
And now look, I'm not saying nothing bad about the Lions, so no one take this personal. They are a great team. But let me see you come to January. Come down to Philadelphia in that game. Come down to Philly in January.
So that's funny.
Lord, I'm dying.
Sam, what's the
I don't even know why I'm on here.
What's the name?
I really don't.
Here for
I'm
the
dying.
people.
I'm here for the people, and I hope the people appreciate it because I'm dying. But if you give me Detroit, Philly in January, that will be the most highly rated NFC Championship game in over the past decade.
Yeah.
I personally think that that's got to be the conference championship weekend. It has to be Philly, Detroit, Buffalo, and KC. There's nothing else that we want to say. No offense to Baltimore, but
no offense to Baltimore, they got to stop losing games.
That is true.
They might
playing
lose
right
their
now.
Division.
Well, they got us next week, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Like going into that game.
What's that?
I feel good though. I feel good going into Baltimore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Zolt, I agree. Just give me Detroit, Philly. Watching those two teams duke it out, NFC Championship game. It's just great football.
Well, I'll tell you now. If it's in Detroit, you might as well just send the punters home. Ain't no one punting that game. I'll tell you that right freaking now. No one's punting. So you might as well just send Brandon Mann home for the day. Yeah, honestly, Zolt's got a good point. Baltimore secondary has not been good this year.
I've said it every week. Baltimore's defense does not look good. It's their offense that's keeping them in games. And guess what? When the offense isn't clicking on a week, they lose.
Yeah.
So looking at because I'm trying to formulate a little thing in my head on how the Eagles can overtake the Lions for the 1 seed. The Lions' remaining schedule, they have a visit with the Bears, who may be trying to put it back together after firing their dreadful offensive coordinator. Division game, it's always going to be tough. Always going to be tough. They got a visit with them. Then they have the Packers, they're playing good football too. Defensively, they're playing really well. Offensively, they still seem like they need to work some things out. Then they have the Bills. Then they have the Bears again. Then the 49ers, which the 49ers look terrible right now. I don't know when Brock Purdy's coming back. I don't know if he'd be back for that game or not.
Sounds like he'll be back within the next week or two, they said.
I hope so. Because at least if they could have Purdy back and maybe that offense can do something and be a shell of themselves, then they can give the Lions a run for their money. And then the Lions finish off their season against the Vikings.
Yeah.
So they're literally, they could be playing the Vikings that last game of the season for the division, because the Vikings are 9-2 as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be very interesting. They have a very tough schedule to finish the rest of the season. And I'll be honest, I'm not too scared of the rest of the Eagles' schedule. I mean, Ravens, tough. I think it's winnable. Panthers, we're not the Chiefs. We're not winning by a field goal. All right, that's not happening. Steelers, another tough game. It'll be a very ground and pound heavy game, defense dominated. I think it's winnable. Commanders, tough division rival. Your only real competition in the NFC East right now. They'll give you a run for their money. Cowboys and Giants should be able to beat up on them, depending on where we're sitting at. If we already have the 1 seed secured, if we know we're not going to be able to get it, so we're just settle for the 2nd seed and maybe rest some guys. I don't know. Do I want to rest guys? No, not really. Go stomp on everybody the rest of the season. Keep the momentum going into the postseason. I don't want to see guys sit. Don't want to see it. Especially like last year when they rested guys after they were on that atrocious losing streak, and then they went down to Tampa and got bounced. No, don't want to see that.
There's my point here. But this week changed a lot for season awards. I agree.
Yeah.
But last night, look at this: the Philadelphia Eagles coming out to LA, stomping on another good team. Which, by the way, I feel like the Eagles and Sean McVay. Sean McVay does not like playing the Eagles.
No, I don't think he's beat the Eagles in like how many years?
He's beaten them like once, and that was in 2020.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about 2020 with the Eagles.
But
dark times.
But no, it was a dominant performance. And once again, let's talk about that defense, Tyler.
Oh, man. Want me to run through some of their numbers?
Go right ahead.
1 sack from the Kobe Dean, all over the field again. Cooper DeJean, 6 total tackles. Quinyon Mitchell, 5 total tackles. Those two probably gave up a combined 20 yards, maybe something like that. I don't know if you have the exact number.
So one site is clearing that Quinyon allowed 6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Which touchdown?
Cooper Kupp's.
The Cooper Kupp one at the end of the game?
But then PFF gave it to Sidney Brown because he's supposed to be the help.
Oh, okay.
Well, look, if that was the equivalent of a bad game for Quinyon Mitchell, then we got a stud.
Yeah, against one of the top receiving duos in the league, and an elite quarter like Matthew Stafford. That's fine.
Who played well last night?
He did. He didn't play bad. We all know
Puka Nacua against Philadelphia.
Puka Nacua was he was the bane of our existence last night. Mine more than yours. And then we had, oh man, just a beautiful game. Had that nice pass breakup by Zach Bond when it looked like Puka Nacua was unstoppable on Isaiah Rodgers. Then we got
Zach Bond was like, man, enough of this shit.
Yeah, enough of this. I'm doing it myself. We had 2 sacks out of Milton Williams, 1 sack out of Brandon Graham, another sack out of Sweat. Just we got the production out of the guys, and they just played together great.
What's up, Alyssa? And absolutely.
Oh yeah, I agree. They did try to cheat us. All of them phantom penalties that ended up being offsetting penalties magically, yeah, great. Not
I'm
coincidental at
not
all.
over the Puka Nakua one in the end zone. I'm not over
Oh
it
yeah,
still.
that was disgusting. I
Isaiah
was
Rodgers did not touch him.
I was looking for the pool to grab. There was nothing. He played him perfect, right at the hip. And as soon as he went up to make the play on the ball, he went to go try to tackle him, and he broke up the pass. And the ref that was in the end zone didn't even throw the flag. Flag came across the field. Don't understand it. Don't understand
It
it.
was the equivalent of the NFL keeping their primetime game close.
Yeah, pretty much. They tried to at least, but 37-20, it's not close.
Saquon Barkley
Then Saquon happened.
happened.
You can't cheat this man out of his runs. 270-yard runs. I'm trying to think back the last player I've seen do that. Who's the last player you've seen break off 270-yard runs in a game? That's not named Ashton Janti.
Anthony
Anthony,
last
what are your thoughts on that, Sam?
the number two guy last night was first of all, AJ Brown was the number two guy last night.
Honestly, I mean, it was kind of give Saquon the ball and let him cook.
Exactly.
We took a play out of the Giants playbook and let that man eat.
Here's the thing. People are gonna look at, and for anybody who's just joining us, I apologize. I sound like crap. All right, I'm sick. But
What's up, Carol? Happy Victory
what?
Monday.
Happy Victory Monday, Carol. But I think the problem with people still is they look at AJ Brown, they look at Devontae Smith, they look at Dotson, they look at Goddard, and they're like, why is this still a run first team? Because it should be.
That's how you win games. Newsflash, if you go back and you look over the past 50 years of the NFL, probably even longer, what teams were usually the best? The teams with those elite running backs.
Do you want to answer this one?
So, Anthony, there's one distinction that I'm going to make to you. Do I agree with, 30 carries, close to 30 carries a game? He's not going to always have that many carries, but there's a one main difference between him getting 30 carries in New York and 30 carries in Philadelphia. He's not on the field every down. If he has a big run, if he's tired, he comes out the game. They have no problem having him come out the game. Kenny Gainwell, do your thing. The major difference is he actually has an offensive line that can block and make gaps for him to go through and create space. Hence, all these long rushing touchdowns he's able to break off and all these long runs that he's able to break off. He's probably running the football the easiest he's ever ran it since Pop Warner. And trust me, I'm sure he's loving it. He probably wants more carries because these 26 carries that he's getting in a game, if he was doing this in New York, it probably feels like 50 carries. If you're only running the ball 3 yards and getting hit every time, yeah, that's pretty rough. That's going to run a guy to the ground pretty quick. But when you're running over 6 yards per carry and you're getting almost 4 yards on the ground before you even touched, I think he's having a great time right now with what he's doing. So I'm not worried about what they're doing with Saquon because I really think they are doing a good job of managing him and not trying to run him into the ground.
Yeah. Again, 270-yard touchdowns. He wasn't touched.
Yeah, literally untouched.
Hey, like the Giants ran him every play. The Eagles give him multiple. I mean, he had like 7 straight plays off last night at one point.
Yeah.
So Burnsy says if Saquon was with the Giants, he'd be having about 1/3 of the success he'd be having now.
Yeah, that's an accurate number.
Well, yesterday was a great day for the Giants. Saquon,
Oh yeah.
Xavier McKinney,
Yup.
Leonard Williams had 2.5 sacks for Seattle.
Yup. They're just and the GM's job is safe, everybody. Giants fans, I'm sorry.
He's such a fool, dude. He is such a fool. So Zolt says increased usage will lead to better production. I swear I heard someone say that in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you look at Saquon Barkley, if he had 26 carries for the Giants this year, he'd probably have about 116 yards.
No. I was waiting for someone to put a comment. Oh, brother. Damn, Anthony. That's cold blood.
I'm not coming back.
Oh, man. Might have to mute your mic then.
What do you want me to do? Talk freaking like just
Learn sign language right now. Okay. Was that a touchdown?
what do you want me to do?
Was that a Miss Joel Embiid free throw?
That's a missed game.
That's a missed game.
But Tyler, unfortunately, not all last night was glitters and glory.
It wasn't. The Eagles
Brandon Graham
a major loss.
lose BG for the season.
Was it what, torn tricep? Is that what they said?
Yep.
Torn tricep after he was enjoying one of the most fun seasons of his career, probably, aside from 2017. Oh yeah, yeah, man. Go scrounge to the cabinet, see what you got.
I ain't drinking that crap.
Yeah, BG. It's so sad. This year he said was going to be his last. I'm going to leave air quotations around that because the type of player he is, I don't know if he wants to go out like this, but I need this team to step it up and keep playing at a high level for him because he was helping out tremendously, playing more snaps than he was honestly expecting to coming into this season because Bryce Huff still stinks. All right.
Oh boy.
He may have gotten slightly better, but he still stinks. It was a bust of a signing. Didn't work out. And we can only hope that he can, heal whatever wrist injury he's got and maybe come back and get some production. But right now, the success of this team hinges on, oh man, Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Maro Jamo. Who else?
What's on?
Jalix Hunt. Hopefully we can see some production out of him. I mean, third round pick. Was he a third round pick, right? Third round pick, usually you don't ask him to step into these big situations like this, kind of develop those guys a little more. So we don't know what we're going to get from him. But if there's one guy that I trust, it's Vic Fangio.
Anthony, I think if he does come back, he'll be ready. But that's if he comes back.
Yeah.
But
Not sure what he's gonna want to do.
Zolt's comments are perfect here. About Daniel Jones getting a contract, Saquon leaving, and then this one is great.
Yeah. So I want to add some more to his first comment there. So remember when I told you that the Giants owner came out and said that the GM's job was safe? He specified that his job was safe because he understood why he would give Daniel Jones a contract extension. based off of his play that one year.
And who was
Our
lined up
best
behind him that one year?
offensive player was Saquon Barkley, and you being the idiotic GM that you are, gave a contract to one of the most underperforming quarterbacks in the NFL rather than the best running back in the NFL. Good job. But your job's safe. The owner understands your shortcomings. So, New York Jets, New York Giants, they just blur together as the same team. They're honestly a joke of an organization, both of them, and they both need some major changes and overhauls if either team wants to see any sort of relevancy in the near future.
Agreed. Well, want to slide over to that debacle?
Yeah, which one we want to talk about?
Well, let's start with the Giants. Releasing
right.
Daniel Jones on Friday.
They released Daniel Jones. He just cleared waivers today, so just give it until tonight or tomorrow to see the Raiders pick him up on their squad, because that is going to happen. There's no other team that would take a quarterback like him in desperation except for the Raiders. They are going to sign him. It's going to happen. I mean, it's not a good look for your organization. Now, we get it. The Eagles are almost the poster boys. There's only one major difference. Carson Wentz actually was good at one point in his career. He was actually dominant. That 2017 season before he got hurt, he was an MVP candidate. There was actually some skill and some talent there. Anthony, I remember that when the GM's son said draft Jaden. I remember that. And oh man, you know what? If they drafted Jaden Daniels, I'll be honest, Jaden Daniels' career would have sunk.
Well,
They wouldn't have had the Commanders was the perfect scenario for Jaden Daniels to go into. Jones, his old said, Jones wants to go to a contender even if he's a backup. Well, if he goes to a contender, the only thing he's going to be is a third string backup. I doubt he'd even be a second string backup. So let's see, where is he trying to go to? Trust me, the Eagles aren't going to let him come anywhere near their locker room. That's not happening. Lions, good luck. The Bills, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. But maybe he wants to go to a contender because maybe he does actually want to sit behind a good quarterback or a good coach, like you tried to suggest to me yesterday, Sam, that it would be best for him to try to, put himself in a situation to learn and develop.
Look at Sam Darnold.
I still don't think Daniel Jones ever had the arm talent.
I understand that. I'm comparing the situation.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But when I'm looking at it, I saw Sam Darnold, who had that raw arm talent, just needed to put everything else together, but couldn't. And I'm just looking at Daniel Jones, who Duke quarterback. Yeah,
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to say. I mean, I'm sorry.
Zol mentioned Minnesota. Darnold got hurt yesterday.
I saw that.
And Nick Mullins stinks.
Yeah. So I mean, the Vikings sitting at 9-2, desperation. They might need to try to get some because we all know how we feel about Daniel Jones. He's probably the best option if your starting quarterback goes down at this point. Nick Foles doesn't have any more Super Bowl runs left in him.
Josh McCown out there.
Oh my gosh.
A severely torn hamstring.
Oh, brother.
That game was so bad. That 2019 wildcard game, that was so bad.
Yeah. But the Giants, they're currently a joke of an organization. They've been in disarray ever since before Eli retired. So they were on the downfall before Eli retired. They finally benched him and decided it was time to move on. Yeah.
Ain't wrong.
The Colts, I don't know. The Colts are already dealing with one disappointment in first round quarterback. So I don't know. I mean, this is a good topic, real quick. Who's the more salvageable quarterback, Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I think so. He at
I
least doesn't have a
see the
noodle arm.
talent.
He doesn't have a noodle arm. He can at least, air it out to his receivers in space. If he's not taking a break on the bench.
Why?
He did it to himself.
He did.
He asked for all these jokes.
But I mean, if you turn Daniel Jones into a game manager, I could see him having a successful career.
But wasn't that already what they were asking for him?
No.
Forget this year. Let's go back to when they had Saquon. Weren't they just kind of asking Daniel Jones to be a game manager at that point?
He was good at it when he had Saquon.
Oh my gosh, Daniel Jones is going to go to the 49ers. Oh my gosh. He's going to go to the 49ers. Shanahan's going to turn him into the greatest game manager of all time.
And they're still going to blow 10-point leads in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, of course. But
I mean, Daniel Jones can't be much worse than Brandon Allen at this point.
No, not at all.
That game was ugly.
Atrocious. And I was so confused how you finally get back one of the best running backs in football. You're down your top quarterback. Why do you not give him the ball? Are you afraid or something? The way Daniel Jones play in his style, it's Ravens back to back up Lamar. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Ravens can help, you falling down on your own power on a wide open touchdown run. I don't know if they can save that. Honestly, Daniel Jones on the 49ers, you know what? Let's let Daniel Jones make the 49ers implode from the inside out. He'll make another running back leave.
And he'll sign with the Giants when they get Cam Ward.
Oh, no. You do not need that. Malik Neighbors, Cam Ward.
It's going to happen.
McCaffrey.
It's going to happen. Cam Ward's going to the Giants.
Sadly, probably is. But, I mean, I don't think too highly about Daniel Jones. I don't really have much else to say on him.
Right.
There's another disgraceful organization that needs to be mentioned, and they play in the same stadium. The New York Jets are they've been in disarray for even longer. Sam Darnold got ran out of there. Who was that other kid that recently got?
Wilson.
Yes. He got ran out of there. I haven't heard from him. I don't even know what team he's on right now.
He's Bo Nix's backup.
Oh, he's Bo Nix's backup. Okay. And they bring in Aaron Rodgers, the savior. Mr. Dark Retreat himself. Oh, he just led them even further into the darkness. It didn't work out. The offensive coordination was terrible. Didn't look good. Never looked good. They fired the piece that kept their defense together. The one bright spot of that team was the defense, and they fired their head coach, who brought all those guys together. Oh, the Jets will cut Rodgers. It might happen during the season. They may not wait till the end of the season. What if Rodgers gets released? What teams could we see him getting signed to?
It won't happen. But I want to give a shout out to my friend from the Dueling Aces, Mr. Adam Wissinger. He deserves Aaron Rodgers on the Browns.
maybe like 5 years ago. But now I'll say, I still think Aaron Rodgers has some left in the tank. He still has the accuracy. He lost a part of his game with the mobility being gone. He's not mobile at all. He's strictly a pocket passer. He can't move the pocket. Sam, turn your damn camera back on. Because if you watch them play, actually, I haven't watched a game of his since probably pre-week 6 or 7, so I don't know how he's looked recently. But those early games leading up, you know, Anthony, I had a funny joke to make about this. It would be very ironic if Rodgers went to the Raiders mid-season after the Jets already had to trade for Devontae Adams. When in reality, Devontae should have just stayed put. Rodgers would have came to him. Wouldn't that be the most tragic thing to ever happen, Sam? The Jets give up more of their future to freaking trade for Devontae Adams. And Rodgers goes to the Raiders. No, Anthony, I'm just talking about games early in the season. I mean, the offense as a whole never looked good at all. I'm not going to blame a bunch of play. I'm not going to say Garrett Wilson stinks because their offense can't do anything. I'm not going to say Brees Hall stinks because their offense can't do anything. I'm not going to say Devontae Adams sucks all of a sudden because their offense can't do anything. From some of the arm is still there. That's all I'm trying to say. If he gets put into a better offensive situation, I'm just saying with Rodgers, I'm not seeing a noodle arm like we saw with Peyton, where that drop off and the decline happened, where he just couldn't throw the football anymore. Rodgers can still throw the freaking football. If he gets put in the right situation, he can still be a good enough quarterback. Do I think he's going to win any more Super Bowls? Heck no. He's past that point. It's long gone. Do I think he could help lead a team to the playoffs? I think he could in the right situation. But the Jets are just so abysmal of a team. Aaron Rodgers is not the problem on that team. I don't blame any of the players on that team. Not a single one. It's the organization as a whole. The Jets giving dumpster fires a bad name.
Well, let me see if I can find what I found a few last week, and I will try to read this off as best as I can. If you want to keep talking about Rodgers while I try to find this, go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have much more to say about Rodgers. I mean, let me see. Let me see if I can pull some recent stats up. Because, like I said, I haven't watched him play in a game since like probably week 6. So it's been a minute. So maybe he did hit that wall where he just can't throw the ball anymore. It's possible. You know, the Jets haven't been on too many local TV games since the beginning of the season. All right, let's see. Stats on the year. I mean, as of recently, against the Colts, 76% completion percentage, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, 114 passer rating. Against the Cardinals, 63% completion percentage, 151 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. The Texans, 69% completion percentage, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 118 passer rating. I mean, where's the hate? You go back. I mean, and that's the Texans too. That's what was looking like a good team. They're still a good team. They're just not a great team. So those are good numbers. You go to the Patriots. All right, it's the Patriots. Fine. 60% completion percentage, 233 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. The Steelers, he had 61% completion percentage, 276, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Against the Bills, completed 65% of his passes, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, I'm looking at these numbers here. I'm still seeing like a top 15, on worst case, top 20 quarterback. Like, he didn't fall off the face of the earth. He just went and played for the Jets. If he didn't tear his Achilles, we would have saw this happen the year prior. This would have unveiled itself a lot sooner. The Jets are just such a dysfunctional team. And I will still stand by it. Salah was not the problem. If they would have
It
actually
wasn't.
got a capable offensive coordinator in that organization, I think they could have made some things happen. Because now their defense stinks. Their offense doesn't know what they're doing.
Well,
Rodgers can still throw the ball. He's only got 7 interceptions on the year. Less than Mahomes, by the way, everybody.
Ryan, what you know, you know. And he was declared out of that game immediately.
Yeah. Trust me. You've been around the league enough. You know when something happens.
All right, so this is according to the Athletic that Woody Johnson went rogue over the past 2 years. Basically,
Agreed. Freed him from the chains of the Jets. And hopefully he can go somewhere and do something good.
Ryan, I'm sick. It's not fun.
He has
I'm pushing through.
76ers-itis.
Yeah, I'm sick. I feel like crap, but I'm pulling through this. But here's what Woody Johnson has done in the past 2 years. Fired Salah without consulting anybody. Locked Bryce Huff's extension with the Jets.
Damn, why do you have to do that, man?
Blocked Lazard and a day 2 pick to the Broncos for Judy. Refused Reddick's contract extension demands. Pushed the team to sign Tyrone Smith, Mike Williams, and trade for Devontae Adams, and benched safety Tony Adams against the staff's wishes. Are we Jerry Jones all of a sudden?
Apparently. The one thing I
I
can
heard
give to
this.
Jerry is at least his teams still find a way to win more games than the Jets.
I did hear this. What Brian's saying here. I did hear this.
Really?
After what I had to go do in New York, I wouldn't mind going back to what made me.
Yeah. Take
What
a
are your
backseat
thoughts?
role.
What are your thoughts on the Joe Douglas firing, Tyler?
I feel like it was gonna happen. Do I think it's gonna solve all the issues? No. The owner has to get out of his own head and has to find somebody that he can put his full trust in and not step in the way. And what happened with Joe Douglas is honestly the same thing that should have happened with the Giants GM. He should have been fired as well. Because now here's a guy who actually had most of the say in these decisions. And they were all bad decisions.
What are you talking about?
Is it Mara, the Giants GM?
No, it's Joe Show and Mars the owner.
Mara's the owner. Okay, I get them mixed up.
Yeah, but now the thing is with Joe Douglas, he was in the final year of his contract. But there's the same Joe Douglas that drafted Garrett Wilson. He drafted Sauce Gardner. He drafted Brees Hall. He drafted Will McDonald, Braylon Allen, Jermaine Johnson. Like, he put together a good team.
He did?
This team is they are a mess.
Yeah.
They thought hiring Nathaniel Hackett was a good idea.
The Jet, I'm just like, I'm not even sure if the Jets are fixable at all.
Whether they are.
They're just like one organization that's just always been something. Just always been bad. Never been able to fully put it together.
When did they ever put it together decently? Like 10 years ago when they had Mark Sanchez and they were buff fumbling.
Yes. Well, prior to butt fumble, pre-butt fumble, they had some sort of idea of what they were doing.
Did they?
I don't know. I'm trying to be generous to him here.
All right, Tyler, let's ask the final question before we move on. Who's got a better shot at getting out of this quicker, the Giants or the Jets?
Giants.
Agreed.
At the end of the day, I still think the Giants are a team free agent players will want to go to. If they had to pick, but this is like between the Lakers and the Clippers. If you have to pick a New York team to go to, you're going to pick the Giants over the Jets. It's going to happen every time. I think the Giants will put it together a lot sooner. I don't like that they kept their GM. I really don't. I don't agree with it. So he might hold them back, or maybe this is his big moment where he washes his hands with his mistakes and he makes some changes and turns it around. One of the two. Yeah, Soul's right about that too. Jets are just stuck. I mean, what did they trade away for Devontae Adams? Second rounder. That could have been your future O lineman, future defensive end.
Sure, Jets and offensive linemen don't mix.
It doesn't. A lot of things don't mix with the Jets. You know, good quarterbacks and the Jets just don't mix either. They get a good quarterback and then they just still look like they're average.
Fair enough.
I don't know, but I'll stay on my statement. I think the Giants will find a way out faster than the Jets will.
Yeah, it's going to get Cam Ward.
Yeah, because honestly, I think the Giants will stick with Dable for one more year. I think they'll get him a quarterback. They'll stick with them. Let him work with a young quarterback and see what they can do.
If Dable gets fired, then they are lost.
Yeah. Dable's still a good coach. Yeah,
Giants makes a great point.
I still like the Giants defense. They got a good defense. What they need to do is put it together on the offensive side of the ball. Honestly, they need better running back talent. They do. It's not good.
Tracy's a good back.
He's solid, but he's not there yet. Maybe if they had another Singletary is not the 1-2 punch. That's not it. Yeah, the Jets just make a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah, Zolt does make a good point here. All right, Tyler. You want to go around the NFL?
Let's go around the NFL.
Please tell me you're reading it.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading it. I don't know if it's the same order that you would have, but we're going to get through all the games.
Your thing.
First one, let's talk about Thursday night. Steelers versus Browns. The Snow Bowl. It was quite a game to behold. It was very, very lovely to see this time of year. Just complete, almost white out on the TV screen. And good old famous Jameis, he pulled out the upset. He outdueled Russell Wilson, somehow made it happen. Both teams, they didn't really pass the ball as much. Obviously, when it's snowing like that, you're keeping the ball on the ground. And the one thing I'm going to say I'm worried about with the Browns is I don't know if Nick Chubb's going to be able to get the rust off. I hope he's able to, because the NFL is just better with a healthy Nick Chubb. But I'm really worried now that we're like getting further and further into the season and he's kind of just treading the same waters. Maybe he had 20 carries for 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. They weren't long touchdowns. but it's just kind of the same thing each week. He's only averaging like 2 to 3 yards per carry, and he's not really putting it together like we've seen him do in the past. He's usually averaging like 5 yards a carry. So I hope he can shake the rust off. I really do.
Solz makes a good point here.
Oh, yeah, right. I think it was a combo of that and also them just wanting to be a thorn in the side of the Steelers.
Yeah.
And Zolt talks about making their draft position worse. I'm going to say something that might anger many Browns fans. I think the Browns are going to stick with Deshaun Watson. There's no rhyme or reason as to why they should. He's gave him nothing but reasons why they should bench or release him. I feel like they're going to roll with him.
They have no choice but to roll with him.
So, honestly, their draft position's still going to be good enough. They'll probably go out and try to find a wide receiver in the draft. They will. You know they will. You know they will. They traded away Amari Cooper. They're just going to go try to draft a guy, see what they can do. I mean, the defense is still pretty solid.
Let me ask you, if you're building a defense, who are you taking, Myles Garrett or TJ Watt?
Oh, that's a tough one. Both of them are such good leaders on the defensive side of the ball. That is tough. Oh, man. I'm taking Garrett.
Me too.
I feel like Garrett's more durable than Watt.
I agree. I think Garrett's better against the run.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about the Browns or Steelers. I mean,
I
Steelers
think
can
it's
help
not low
themselves
for like
up.
another. It's not low for like another 2 years.
Yeah. So, they're screwed. They're not going to do that, though, because at that point, Stefanski's going to lose his job. He's going to lose his job. And honestly, I don't think he should lose his job. Back when before they had Deshaun Watson and they were dumpster fire, when they had Baker out there, they were rolling. They were able to string off wins. They were a playoff team.
Yeah.
Now don't tell me Stefanski just forgot how to coach.
2-time coach of the year.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe that for a minute. But you know, Sam, that these teams and these owners will always scapegoat one guy. It's the head coach. So they'll rock with Watson. They'll be like, oh, Watson just can't play because he doesn't have a good coach. Okay, sure. I'll be honest. I don't see them drafted a quarterback next year unless if it's like in the late rounds.
I wish they would.
They definitely should. No doubt.
And Zoll, that's not fair to him.
Yeah, it's really not. Moving on to our next game, we have the Titans versus the Texans. And the Texans got upset with a 5-point loss. Any thoughts on that game, Sam?
What do the Texans do well?
Lose.
Somebody answer me this question.
They lose well. They are. And I hope they can put it together. I hope we can just chalk this up to, they need to get Nico Collins fully healthy. They need to get everyone back on track. Hopefully they can figure it out from there. But maybe like going back pre-week 8, they were always the team that I looked at and I was like, this team's probably one of the best teams one of the worst teams with the best record that I've seen so far this year, aside from the Chiefs. They're the top of the list.
Well,
But the Texans, I was just like, what do they do good? Like at least with the Chiefs, I can say their defense has been really good this year.
it's
The
elite.
defense has been the standout point of their
Um,
team this year, and the offense
yeah.
is just like meh, whatever. But the Texans, you just look at them and you're like, what do they do good? You're just waiting to find out. Attack you through the air, attack you on the ground. Who knows?
Why is it everywhere Joe Mixon goes, the offensive line stinks?
Oh man, and like, Mixon started off the year solid. Like I don't know what happened.
Jeremy Tunsil and Titus Howard have not been good for Houston.
Sadly too. It's like Tunsil just seemed like one of those guys who just was reliable. You knew what you were going to get out of him.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you, Sam.
Who?
Can you tell me how many 100-yard games Joe Mixon's had this year?
Are you asking me or are you?
I'm asking you.
Right.
Without looking it up, take a guess. Real quick, top of your head.
I'll go 3.
He's had 6. And he's only had 3 games that were under 100 yards, and they were bad games. So those were against teams like the Bears, the Lions, and Tennessee. Every other team, he smoked so far on the ground. So honestly, I don't think Joe Mixon's the problem. The offensive line, now that's the problem. What happened to them?
I've never said Joe Mixon was the problem.
But it's just like I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, you tried to make the joke, everywhere Joe Mixon goes, the offensive line gets bad. I'm just looking for the correlation. I don't know why that would be the case. Like, why did they get bad?
To defend one game against the Bears early, that's the game he got hurt in.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
That's when the high ankle sprain happened.
Well, the Texans aren't a running team, but I mean, hey, he's got 100 yards on the ground in 6 games out of 9 played. So I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
that's tough.
right.
So, I mean, you go back to the Texans last year, right? They were really good. They could have won in most of the divisions. But now this year, they're in a position where it's like they're good enough to win their division, but like you put them in another one and they're probably like maybe second or third. I mean, the Texans are very tough to judge right now. I hope that, they can just refocus now that they're hopefully back to sort of full strength, get everyone back on track and just find out how they did it last year and replicate it. So I mean, let me pull up Stroud's numbers. I don't think Stroud really has he regressed this year. Is he having a sophomore slump? Like, let's see.
Goal says he is.
I mean, he's thrown 9 interceptions, only 14 passing touchdowns. He's averaging a 87 passer rating. He's got 2,875 passing yards, 63% completion percentage. So the completion percentage is there. He's throwing a lot more interceptions. He only threw 5 in his rookie season. He's throwing a lot less passing touchdowns. And I mean, the yard average is kind of there. I mean, usually he has worst case 200 something. He's had a couple of games close to 300 and 2 of them over 300. So I don't know. Just inconsistent.
I mean, this was a team that we thought would be tops of the AFC.
Yeah. Maybe they're still trying to put it together. Maybe they're not there yet. I think they jumped the gun a little too quick. They were too good last year. I don't think last year was supposed to be the year they came out and put everyone on notice. They were way too good. They
Agreed.
exceeded expectations. So now that they're kind of having this little fallback,
Never mind.
but
Only have breaking news.
I thought you had breaking news.
But you're not.
No, he does not. Wow, that is
Yeah.
surprising. No new 49ers injury report. Oh, wait, no, I got something. Debo Samuel's hands are broken. They need to be fixed. Next game we got is a very close one that I was shocked by. Vikings win by 3 in overtime against the Bears. The Bears, while they're not going to win their division, they may not make the playoffs. They're putting it together a little bit more after firing the OC. And hopefully this is just a step in the right direction for next year.
I mean, they're doing better with Caleb. They're letting him use his legs.
Yeah.
Caleb's starting to look better. But I still think they're going to be going through a new coaching staff after the season.
You think Eberflus is gone? I think he should be.
Oh, yeah.
It's either that or he's going to take the cop-out deal where, hey, you get to pick my coordinators, and I'll go do my thing on the defensive side of the ball, and I won't interfere with the offensive side of the ball. I think that's probably his only cop-out deal that he can get.
Agreed.
But moving on to the next game, we have the Cooper Rush Cowboys versus, sorry, Anthony, what seemed to me to be a fully healthy Washington Commanders team. Yeah, Bears making it obvious the O-line's a problem. Yeah, it has been obvious for a while. Yeah. But that Cowboys Commanders game, that was just an atrocious game. I mean, I don't know how the Commanders allowed 34 points to be dropped on their head by Cooper Rush. Let's see. What did Cooper Rush do yesterday? Because I'll tell you what, Zeke Elliott wasn't the reason that they won that game. No, not at all. Cooper Rush completed 75% of his passes, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Jaden Daniels, he had a bad game. Now, do I feel like giving him the excuse he's just a rookie? Because, I mean, people weren't saying that back when they were talking, he should be in MVP conversation. He's still the leader for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, I don't know if he deserves that cop-out. I really don't. Through a career high, actually. A career high 2 interceptions in a game. Very uncharacteristic. He only had 3 interceptions on the year coming into that game. He still completed 66% of his passes, 275 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. But those 2 interceptions, I mean, when you lose a game by 8 points, 1 possession. Oh, Anthony, you think Bo Nix is leading now? Really?
Bo Nix is playing really good.
He is. He is playing really good football. But I'm surprised that you would say that. Because, I mean, just because he played 1 bad game, and honestly, his bad game yesterday is probably some quarterback's good game. Like, he didn't play god awful. He didn't throw like sub 150 passing yards. and 2 picks and no touchdowns. Like, he had 2 touchdowns, 275, completed his normal amount of passes. Just the 2 interceptions, you don't want to see it. So I don't think it's fully on him. Obviously, you're going to put the blame on the guy that threw 2 picks. Those are 2 chances you could have put more points on the board. I still think Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels would have to miss the rest of the year for Bo Nix to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think Jaden Daniels has it secured still. He's still a special talent.
Well, absolutely.
But anyways, thank you, Cowboys, for dropping the Commanders even further out of second place. They're not peeking over the Eagles' shoulder right now. Our next game, we have the Dolphins beating the Patriots 34-15.
Dolphins are getting hot.
Dolphins are getting hot. The Dolphins swimming back into the logo. He's ready for the playoffs so he can go freeze in Buffalo and lose. Come on, Sam. Come on. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, Dolphins back in the logo. They got Tua in there, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. Achen really didn't have to do much the whole game. Jalen Waddle looks like the wide receiver number 1. Sorry, Tyreek Hill fantasy owners. And I mean, another solid showing from Drake May. The Patriots, they definitely got their guy. There's still some more. There's some more work to be done. A little rough around the edges. They need to
find
flashes. You've seen flashes, exactly. They definitely need to get some more receiving help because Demario Douglas, I don't know who that is. Is he a rookie?
He's made up.
He's made up. All right, he's a creative player. Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, those are all your receiving leaders. Austin Hooper, he can hoop. He's pretty good. Hunter Henry, pretty good. But, man, they don't have anybody. Jalen Polk, Keyshawn Butte. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Probably didn't. Jermichael Hasty, Javon Baker. I mean, you look at that receiving room and it's like, man, how did Drake May throw for 222 yards? If they could definitely get some receiving help fleshed out around there, they could put something together. They really can.
Great.
But right now, Dolphins are sitting at 5-6. They're cruising. They're in second place in their division. Still got a losing record. You're not going to make any noise in the wild card with a losing record, but they have a chance to try and win out most of the rest of their games and make a case for themselves. I mean, you got the Chargers that are sitting at 7-3. Broncos are at 7-5. See what the Chargers can do tonight. Maybe the Chargers upset the Ravens. Maybe they get the upset. They move up to 8-4. Then they're sitting real pretty over there. Because it's not a whole lot of a race in the wild card for the AFC. There's only a few teams really in it. And the few teams are the Broncos, Chargers, Ravens, and that's it. The Texans are going to win their division. I think the Steelers might win their division depending on how the Ravens play the rest of the season. The Chiefs will win their division, of course. And I think the Bills win their division easily. So the Dolphins are the only real team that are like on the outside looking in for that wild card spot. Patriots executing the rebuild pretty well. Holes are obvious and fixable in a season or two. Yeah, they have a timeline. They know what they need to do and how to get there. The Jets do not. The Giants do not.
The Giants do if they get the right guy.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on to the shootout between the Chiefs and the Panthers. in case if you guys didn't hear me right, you thought I was crazy. The shootout between the Chiefs, the 10-1 Chiefs, and the hold on, I gotta look this up. I don't even know what the record is anymore. Panthers. The 3-8 Panthers. Okay? Chiefs beat them by a field goal. Tell me, somebody please tell me with a straight face right now that the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. I don't care that they've only lost one game and that they're 10-1. Someone tell me they're the best team in the NFL. And I'll laugh at you.
No argument.
There are about 4 other teams that I would say, all right, put the Chiefs up against them right now. Have these refs play the game honestly. They're losing. They're not winning.
Like Philly.
Philly, Detroit, Buffalo. Honestly, still, the Ravens. Maybe the Steelers. I don't know. Steelers are kind of a tough team to gauge, in my opinion. You kind of don't know what they're gonna do to you on any given week.
Thank you, Zol. Thank you.
Yeah, they should. And if they were, they'd be pretty much tied with the other two teams competing in their division.
We do have some news.
Yeah, they should be 7-4. They're playing like they're probably sub 500, at least offensively. Defensively, they're playing elite football.
For
But
any Chargers fans that think the Chargers are going to have an effective run game tonight, Roquan Smith for the Ravens inactive.
oh, that's a big loss.
J.K. Dobbins revenge game.
I think so, man. And Mr. Jim Harbaugh getting some payback on his brother. All
Yeah,
these
right.
years later, tired of getting beat up on. Let's see what we got next game. Next game we got the Buccaneers handling business against the Giants, 30-7. I don't have much to say on that. Do you have anything to say on that?
No.
What happened was supposed to happen. Then we
He's
got
great.
another game, the Lions versus the Colts, 24-6. The Lions did what they needed to do.
Very done.
And
They
he,
let Jonathan Taylor run all over them.
oh my god. Yeah, and he had no touchdowns to show for it. Next game we got. Oh, Sam's upset. Sorry, Sam. We both lost fantasy this week. It's okay. We got the Broncos beating the Raiders 29-19. I think that's respectable. Broncos are playing pretty good football. I think they'll be a team we see in the wild card race. And the Raiders are just the Raiders. They'll get Daniel Jones by the end of the week, and everything will be back to Raiders football, which is exactly where they are right now. Lions had some injuries, none look serious, but it's a short week. Yeah, that's never a good thing. You know, them short weeks, some of these guys might end up missing.
Famous thing with Smith. Let
Yeah.
me just say this. Bo Nix was labeled the worst quarterback in this draft class.
I remember.
But you all forgot where he was. Who was he going to?
Sean Payton.
It doesn't matter about the quarterback as much as it matters on where he goes.
All you
If
need
you
is
put
some talent.
a good coach,
Yep.
if you put the right guy with the right coach, it's going to mix.
I agree. Oh, excuse me. All right. Next game up, we have an odd game. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6. I couldn't tell you I expected this to happen.
Me neither.
The the Cardinals just looked lost. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing out there. And it was Cardinals are a team that we were like, we were talking about possibly, taking control of their division, making some noise in the playoffs, and they just looked lost. I don't know what happened. I guess, hey, playing a division rival who happens to have a similar record to yours, it's going to happen. I mean, Kyler Murray, he was 24 for 37. He threw for 285, had one interception, no passing touchdowns. They couldn't get anything going on the run game. It looks like Connor was out. No, Connor played. They just could not run the football. 7 carries for 8 yards, and Trey Benson had 4 carries for 18 yards. That is sad. Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley, hey everybody. Yeah, running the football is pretty important. Detroit knows that too. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, running the football is pretty important in the league.
Jahmyr Gibbs is such a special talent.
He really is. And you know what honestly kind of upsets me? And this is no knock to David Montgomery or anything. Because David Montgomery is a great running back. But if David Montgomery was not on that team and Jahmyr Gibbs was the sole running back on that team, he'd probably be putting up some crazy numbers. Like absolutely ridiculous numbers. The way he can catch the football out of the backfield, make guys miss, his elusiveness, his speed, and he's just a good runner as well. David Montgomery is the only thing holding Jahmyr Gibbs back. I'll be honest. And it's not saying that in a negative way. I know it sounds negative, but I'm trying to not say that in a negative way. I just feel like the sky is the limit for Jahmyr Gibbs. He just doesn't get to showcase it because it's a package duo with the both of them. They get equal share of the backfield.
Yeah.
And it's tough because, they're not going to part with either one of them until they have to.
They just gave Montgomery an extension.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's going to be tough, man. If their contracts are both up at the same time, what do you do? That's tough. Obviously, they would go with the younger guy. You would have to. It's a smart move. Yeah, bring them both back. All right, guys. You're both great. How about you just share a contract? Call it a day. Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles. Mm-hmm. Jahmyr Gibbs is Sonic, and yep, Montgomery's Knuckles, power runner. But yeah, that Cardinals game was just so odd. And of course, Trey McBride, who my fantasy opponent also had, 12 for 133 yards. All right. You never really think your team could put up 143 and you lose still. You don't really think that. But things happen. So yeah, that was an underwhelming game, but they got it done. Let's see, how did Geno look in this game? 22 for 31, 254, passing touchdown, interception. That seems like Geno Smith, yeah. Looks pretty accurate. They were able to do more. They ran the ball a little bit better. So, it wasn't an exciting game by any means. Moving on to a blowout. 38-10. The Packers dismantle the 49ers. They absolutely shut down Christian McCaffrey. You wouldn't even know Christian McCaffrey existed. I never thought I'd see the day, but the 49ers looked lost without Brock Purdy. We talk about how great Shanahan is with these run schemes and being able to, keep this team in games, even if a quarterback goes down. It didn't happen. Oh, Montgomery was one of the injuries. Yeah. I like that statement out of Dan Campbell. I like that. There's bigger fish. He's right. No need to go out and risk it in a game. They already have one. But man, the 49ers, Brandon Allen, who you thought was originally Kyle Allen, Sam. But this is another bum entirely. 17 for 29, 199 yards, passing touchdown, interception. Christian McCaffrey, 11 carries, 31 yards. George Kittle, 6 receptions, 82 yards. Deebo Samuels, 10 drop passes. I mean, this. The stats were just unreal. And from the Packers side of the ball, they dominated the ground. Josh Jacobs, 26 carries, 106 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Emmanuel Wilson, 9 for 41. Chris Brooks, 4 for 11. They all got it done. Jordan Love didn't really have to do a whole lot. 13 for 23, 163 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. They just played a really good, well-rounded game. Anthony, yep, I agree. They need a quarterback. Now, I still think Purdy is a good game manager for them. He does what they need them to do. Another piece that they're missing is Ayuk. You can't have Deebo Samuels as your best wide receiver. Not best receiver on the team because that's George Kittle, but best wide receiver, it cannot be Deebo Samuel. That man can barely catch the football. He can barely do it. You need Ayuk out there. Team's better with Ayuk. Jawan Jennings even had 5 catches for 40 yards. Jawan Jennings has been really solid for them. Deebo Samuels just doesn't even need to be on this team. I'll be honest. And I'm sure there's got to be some other 49ers fans that share that same sentiment. '49ers do Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers. Oh, man.
Both.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like a mobile quarterback would fit the 49ers scheme with running the football, and then they do a lot of play action. Maybe Daniel Jones could have some sort of, decency on the 49ers. It's possible. We'll never know.
My biggest takeaway in the Packers game, they have to do what the Eagles and Lions do. Run the football.
Yes.
It takes pressure off your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And Jordan Love experienced that. I think, let's see, was this the first game that he didn't throw an interception in a few weeks? Let me check. Yes. Oh my. This was the first game of the season for Jordan Love that he did not throw an interception. He's thrown an interception in every game this season.
Jeez.
Currently at 11 interceptions on the season. First turnover-free game. And they ran the football, and he didn't have to do a whole lot. Man, it's almost like it just works. Moving on, we got our good old Sunday night football special. We already talked about the Eagles-Rams, but just some final thoughts on it. I mean, everyone went off. A.J. Brown did A.J. Brown things. Jalen Hurts played a very well-rounded game, turnover-free game. And Saquon Barkley, we already spoke enough on Saquon Barkley. Just a beast.
Great. So, is it time to move on to the AP Top 25 for the week?
Oh, yeah. It is time.
All right. Let's see how this looks this week.
There were some shakeups and some noise made in college football over the weekend. Some upsets, some teams that were bounced out of the playoff race, some teams that were bounced out of their conference championship games. But there are some things that were unchanged, and that is the top four. Oregon sitting at number one, Ohio State's at number two, Texas at number three, Penn State at number four. Moving up a slot, we got Notre Dame at number five. We have Georgia moving up 2 spots to number six. We have Tennessee jumping back up to number seven, 3 spot jump. At number eight, we have Miami, who jumped another 3 spots as well. Excuse me. At number nine, we have SMU, who is sitting 10-1. They jumped 4 spots as well, so they got themselves into the playoff picture. Number 10, we got Indiana, dropped 5 spots. Who did they lose to?
State.
Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. But it still kept them in the top 10, so I mean, I guess it's still a win-win for them. If you could say that, I don't know, I guess, yeah. At number 11, we got a team moving up even more, Boise State. They're sitting at 10-1. And I'll get some, you know what? Whenever I see Boise State, I gotta get the numbers. Now, they kind of held him back a little bit. I'm not sure why. Maybe they were trying to save him for something. Maybe they're doing what Jerry Jones thought he was going to do with Zeke Elliott, save him for later. Ashton Jonty against Wyoming. They only won 17-13. Jonty only carried the ball 19 times for 169 yards and a touchdown. Longest run was 61-yarder, averaged 8.9 yards on the ground. So, he didn't have a 200-yard game. Kind of a bummer. But they got the win. And he joined the 2000 club. And there's still another, let's see, how many more games do they have? Let's see. Damn it, what's the remaining schedule?
Well, what was it like? The remaining schedule was actually.
Remaining schedule is they have Oregon State and to be determined. I wonder if that's a college football matchup. That might be. That might be a playoff matchup.
Oh, it could be.
6. Big 12 has 9 teams still possible to make the championship game. That's crazy. What's the Big 10 championship looking like? Is that determined yet or no?
Probably going to be Oregon, Ohio State.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Well, you gotta beat Ohio State.
Yeah, that is true. You gotta beat
got to.
And hey, Ohio State will get a chance to exact the revenge.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that's beaten them so far. So they have a chance to take away Oregon's undefeated streak.
Mm-hmm.
But unless if you had something to look up real quick, I was going to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
At number 12, we have Clemson moving up 5 spots. They're currently sitting in that last spot in with the number 13 team on looking out, Alabama. Dropped 6 spots after getting upset. They are where they deserve to be.
No.
I'm not going to say this, and I hope no one takes offense. I don't think Milroe is an NFL quarterback.
Reminds me a lot of Hurts. He has to go find Lincoln Riley first.
He's got to find Lincoln Riley. Oh man, he's running out of time. Unless if he's going to pull the legendary who was your Penn State quarterback you had for 10 years. Hey, and he finally got drafted by the Packers too, so it worked out for him.
Yeah.
At number 14, we have Arizona State making a 7-point jump up to 14. Number 15, you got Ole Miss, got upset, dropped 6 spots. That's gonna happen. They're out.
It's that game.
I didn't watch it. I did not.
They lost because they had a wide open 2-point conversion. They dropped it.
They dropped it. That's tragic. At number 16, we got South.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That was A&M and Auburn. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
A&M. That's the other team that Number 16, we got South Carolina. They moved up 3 spots. Number 17, we got Iowa State. They moved up 5 spots. At number 18, we got the Green Wave, Tulane. They moved up another 2 spots. At number 19, we got BYU. They dropped down 5 spots. At number 20, we have Texas A&M, who dropped down 5 spots. Number 21, we have UNLV. They went up 2 spots. Number 22, we got Illinois. They jumped 2 spots as well. Number 23, we got Deion's Buffaloes. Colorado dropped 7 spots. Fall from grace, some might call it. At number 24, we have Missouri, who was unmoved. And unfortunately, dropping all the way down to 25 is Army after they lost to Notre Dame. But if you didn't see that coming, you should have saw it coming. So, there's some interesting college football coming up here.
Penn State survived Minnesota. Now they just got to take out Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But in some other college news, how about the 2 big 5-star commits? Michigan getting all that NIL money. That's exactly what this is.
It is exactly what happened. Lots of NIL money.
Getting the number 1 overall recruit in 2025, Bryce Underwood, to commit to Ann Arbor. Then we have 5-star quarterback Juju Lewis announced that he is going to Colorado.
Interesting.
I'll give my thoughts first, because then after your thoughts, I think that's going to be the end of the show. This is where NIL money is going to be give these teams power, because they get whoever's trustees or whatever they can pay up, they're going to do it. Basically, Zolt. And the Juju Lewis one, that tells me that Prime's not going to the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you see what Burnsy said about the Longhorns need to be the last seed? Well,
No.
What you got to hate with the Longhorns for?
He's the only Heisman odds because he plays. Yes, Anthony, thank you.
Yeah.
He's not the Heisman.
He's a really good wide receiver and a solid cornerback.
And he owns no records.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that show.
Cool, man.
So what are your thoughts on these 2 5-star recruits?
You said it pretty well. It's where the future of college football is headed. NIL money. Teams being able to put together these packages almost not exactly the same as NFL contracts. Oh, Burnsy. Burnsy, what's your team? I know you're from Texas. Who's your team? Because it's clearly not the Longhorns. So I want you to drop your team in the comments for us real quick. We need to get an understanding for this hatred. He's probably an A&M fan, I'm pretty sure. Gotta be. It would make sense. That's a heated rivalry right there. Texas A&M, very heated rivalry.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's the future of college football. NIL packages put together. These are how teams are gonna land these big 5-star recruits. over, the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Clemson.
Ohio State.
Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Yep. Well, we have gotten through an hour and 45 minutes, and I have not done.
He's alive.
So I think it's time to say goodnight to the people because I'm going to die. All right, everyone. We're going to wrap this show up tonight. Nice hour 45 for you guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Apologies if this episode's a little off because I sound like a death metal group's lead singer after 2 tours. But Tyler holding it down most of the show so I don't die.
Give the people what they want.
Carol, thank you. Appreciate you guys always tuning in with us. Real quick, let me just get real to these comments. Salted Underwood switched commitments a month ago. Had to play cool until now because some things hadn't been signed yet.
Okay.
They even trolled Michigan in a social media post. But guys, before we go, we do want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanksgiving's Thursday. We hope you all have a safe and happy holiday. Carol, fly, Eagles fly, like always.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you all enjoy your turkey day, eat plenty of food, watch some good football, unless you're a Cowboys and Giants fan.
Except for the afternoon. You might want to find some other plans.
Yeah, maybe watch the parade.
Yeah. I wish they would have had that game on first, so, people could have all watched the parade instead of that game.
Oh, Zoll, trust me, I am. That's going to happen as soon as I log off this computer. But guys, stay safe, have a happy holiday, and we'll see you guys next time. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, all.